how are we seeing people change their search? Are they all aware that generative AI is going to change the game, and are they trying to prep themselves for that?
Yeah, well, I mean, you have to imagine what it was like being a college student over the last 4 years.
Yes.
I mean, there was a global pandemic, you got sent home, you had to learn how to learn from home. Then you thought the economy was going to crash, but the economy started booming. And now fast forward to today where a lot of students, the headlines are companies are laying off employees. And so students, as you might imagine, they're very resilient, but now more so than ever are they interested in working in industries that value stability. I mean, students are looking at companies that, 84% of them want a company that is really highlighting how stable the opportunities are. Students are also expanding their horizon to new industries. So students are 40% more likely to apply to industries that they hadn't considered before. So I think the dream job is like shifting right now in real time.
What's interesting is, well, defense seems to be an area that they're going into. I speak nothing about geopolitics on that, but Raytheon was really trending up 200% in terms of searches, but Nike, Toyota, they're resilient brands. Are they therefore not looking for jobs at big tech companies, given some of the headlines around layoffs?
Well, I think big tech searches are down 15% year on year. Big tech is still very much hiring in college today, but I think the dream job is like really shifting. So coming back to like the dream job might be working in EVs at General Motors, or working in robotics at Johnson & Johnson, or a fun story, you talk about Raytheon, like there's a student I just talked to earlier this week named Wes, who went to a small aeronautical school in Florida, and he built his profile on Handshake, got a message from Raytheon, and fast forward a week later, he's got an internship offer and is actually going to work there. So that's an example of like connecting companies that view this moment as an opportunity to go on the offensive. Mm-hmm. Like big tech, yes, is pulling back in terms of overall demand from students, but companies view this as like an offensive opportunity to win top talent. So just this week, like publicly, JP Morgan and Fidelity talked about publicly increasing the number of early talent hires they're making. So they view this as an opportunity to pick up top talent.
Really interesting. And Ed, I have to think at the moment what was interesting in the stats was also Capital One was being highly sought after, Bank of America, Morgan Stanley. I wonder if the current situation around banks is going to change that in terms of demand.
Yeah, I find it so interesting because the headlines are about chaos and volatility and technology with the layoffs in the banking sector around SVB. But Garrett, what I'm actually interested in is the speed in which those young people are finding jobs in those sectors. Is it a case of, the opportunity's there for me and they take it?
I mean, the students are very much interested in banking still. I mean, JP Morgan has increased publicly the number of opportunities that they're posting on the network. They're hiring more software engineers than ever before. They're hiring more data scientists than ever before. And students really are interested in working in finance. I think obviously the news cycles are dominating students' mindshare, but there are still tons of students that want to work in finance.
I'm looking at some of the companies that are being sought out. I know we've been over many of them. You're talking about Raytheon, Nike, Toyota, Boeing, Chevron. Tell me what all of those have in common. What is it that makes them interesting to a young person seeking a modern-day job?
I think students really want to understand what a day in the life looks like at a company. And so what that really means is like, what are other students like them doing that have been there a year or 18 months? What does their day in the life look like? What skills are they learning? What exit opportunities are available inside of the company? They're really interested in understanding what the mission of the company and the impact that company's making on the world. They care more about that than, they care more about mission than actually salary in most situations. So I think companies that bring a personal approach to sharing what the culture looks like and the impact they're making on the world is a really important facet of those companies.
Your mission at Handshake is to democratize access to opportunity. Now, when I look at the jobs data today, record unemployment, so low level of unemployment for black people in particular, 4.7%, but there's still a big disparity between white unemployment, which is 3.1%, and black unemployment that's 4.7%. I'm interested in whether you're seeing the mission being around equality, the mission being around bringing in all types of people from whatever education background, and particularly minorities in this economic environment, or whether, unfortunately, that goes to the backseat as we see perhaps VC dollars going to diverse founders.
Yeah. I mean, companies are so focused on trying to build representation and build the future leadership of their company many companies, in order to hire 50% women, they really want to have 50% applicants in order to hire 50% women. Or if they want to hire 13% black college students, it's important to have 13% applying. And so many companies are trying to be really proactive and shape their early talent programs to be able to have enough women and enough underrepresented students so they can cultivate and build those leaders internally. And so that's how companies use Handshake, is really focused on great, resilient, amazing talent and also diverse talent. And I think that very much connects to like my story. I mean, I grew up in a blue collar family. Right. I went to community college for 2 years. The mission of our company and why everyone goes to work every day is really around expanding access to students all across the country. Because I mean, so much about this is like, in the way the world works, is like who you know, or what your parents do, or what school you go to. Talent's really everywhere, and opportunity isn't. And so I think Handshake is really helping companies connect with talent everywhere and to bolster the representation of their classes and to build the future workforce of tomorrow.